Amelia's Ward Linden. It's the mall that has it all. We have great food, a relaxing atmosphere, and activities for all ages. Tennis, swimming, and a playground. But the fun doesn't stop after dark. There's even a bar and an arcade. And if you aren't ready to go home yet, we've even got a spacious room for your comfort, complete with air conditioning, Wi-Fi, and a private bathroom. The Toucan Mall can also facilitate your event in our spacious conference hall. We also have a theater with films for the entire family. It's the Toucan Mall located in Amelia's Ward, Linden.
Calls. I don't know if we will be able to, but I'm hoping that we will. Uh, it's Thursday once again, but this Thursday is in December. This is our first week in December, and December means holiday season. It means Christmas. It means you're coming close to the end of the year. It also means that we will give you the information that we give you all the well at the end of the year to make your pepper pot and your and your black cake and your garlic chunks if you care to do that. So for those of you who are watching the program, we do it every year. We give it to those persons who are vegetarians who would like to be able to enjoy some of the festive foods. So we're gonna stand by later on for that, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to get clarity in some situations regarding the Venezuelan issue and, of course, the recent accident with our aircraft, our military aircraft. I learned that news late, no, this morning I learned it, and I was not very pleased with the fact that it happened, especially with the helicopter, because pretty much when they have an accident with a helicopter, it must be fatal, except if it goes into water. And if it goes into water, then people have a better chance of escaping, uh, whatever it is that may happen if it is some sort of an engine failure or, uh, most likely it was an engine failure. What would cause it is investigations have to be done. I learned that they stopped somewhere to refuel, and after taking off from that point, um, contact was lost shortly after, and there were many speculations about all sorts of things, which I had no speculation because um, it happened so quickly after takeoff. Most likely, they were pretty much where the territory was safe, and I suspected mechanical failure. I still suspect that, but we regret sincerely the loss of lives because we had some seriously good people on board there. Every life is a very valuable life, and there was an experienced pilot flying the aircraft, so there's no question about the fact that we had an inexperienced pilot. He was experienced, and it had to be something that he couldn't do anything about. So we're hoping that investigations will provide the correct details of the cause of the accident. And we already don't have too many of those aircrafts. I think that there were two of them, so now we only have one. And it came at a time when you're battling with a madman. I would say a madman. Um, The first three letters to me are mad, and what he's doing is trying to drive fear into the citizens of the country. What he's trying to do is this is like you being married as a man, and I come along, and because your wife is my girlfriend, I want to take her from you, even though she's married to you. She's legally married to you, and because she was a girlfriend of mine, now I want to come back and take her away from you. That's what that sounds like to me. He's trying to take something that don't belong to him or his country, and legally it is already proven and stated clearly that he is trespassing, and he's actually treating Guyana as if they're squatting on his land, and now he's coming to take it. So he's a madman. I don't see any sense in what he's doing. I just hope that he catches himself and realizes that he's going to be jeopardizing a number of lives of persons and families in this country. And we just have to be cautious, be careful, and be confident that uh, he wouldn't be fighting us alone, because his army or his military force outnumbers our population, I think. And maybe he thinks that that's the reason why he should come and just or claim and take over what is not his, because he has more numbers. But hopefully the people are not silly, and they will wake up and realize that he's using this as a political machine to try to maybe distract them from the real issues. And I say that ever since, because nobody runs away from anything that's good. Nobody in their right mind runs away from anything that's good. You only run away from something that is not so good or is not in your favor, or you don't see that it will benefit you. So all those people who are leaving and coming to Guyana are not coming here because they just want to migrate to Guyana. They're coming here because their lives in Venezuela are not as good as they want it to be. There may be some who are coming here as spies, I don't know, but the majority of them are coming here looking for a better life, because where they are or where they were, they're not offered a life that is um, beneficial to them and their families. So we in Guyana need to understand that this is our country, and we need to take care of each other. I don't care what level, I don't care what political powers. We need to make sure that our people in our country are taken care of holistically. We need to provide facilities for them to be able to live and earn. We need to provide salaries if they're working that can sustain them. I talk about that. It's really crazy. On Monday, it's Monday. On Sunday, I went to the market to buy some plantain, and I just wanted a couple of pounds of plantain, maybe 4 pounds. So I asked the vendor, what does it what does it cost for a pound of plantain? And the man said 280. When he said 280, it didn't really register to me, because I know the plantain was like 45 $45 a pound at some point, some time ago, not too long ago. Maybe $50 a pound, not too long ago. But then when he said 280, when he said 280 for plantain, please be quiet in the studio. I'm hearing a loud voice. When he said 280 for a pound of plantain, it's because you could have almost bought a half a bunch of plantain for $500. I was I was taken aback, and I said, man, you must have made a mistake. He said, no, doc, it's 280 pound planting. He said, as a matter of fact, I give you for 260. I said, but for pound planting? He said, yeah, man, 260, doc. Doc, where you been planting expensive now? And then planting look like my finger. Fine, 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 like my finger. I mean, my fingers are not very fine, but the planting look like my finger. So I said, okay, just give me a couple of pounds. You know, it's crazy. I am wondering, plantain that grows here, that is reaped here, that doesn't have to import here, that you don't have to pay VAT on it here, at least not from the farm, as that I'm aware of, is selling for $280 a pound. Who that kind of lavish lifestyle? Like sounds like prices for people who are living lavish. What is the reason for plantain being 280 a pound? $280 a pound. What is the reason? So I was saying it to someone, and he said, okay, he says, you don't understand, He says, you want to know how much a pound of pumpkin? He said, you know how much a pound of pumpkin? So I tell him I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If a pound of plantain is 280, I could imagine what it is for a pound of pumpkin. You know? Which brings me to the point of growing your own foods, my friend. I said it year in and year out. I don't care what kind of space you have in your backyard. I don't even care if you have space on your patio. Get some pots, get some tires, get some tubs or some buckets, get some old paint cans, get some dirt, some good quality dirt, and plant inside. Plant your own food, my friend, because you can't afford to buy food in the market. The pensioners, they're earning on a monthly basis. For the people, the teachers, the nurses, the public servants, how can you afford to live healthy? How can you afford to eat healthy? The policemen, the military men and women, police women and men. How can you afford to live a healthy life if you can't even buy a pound of plantain for under $200 a pound? I understand when you buy by the bunch it's cheaper, but but if you're a family of two or three or four, you won't buy a bunch of plantain. No, I mean think so. So something needs to happen to bring the prices down. People need to plant more, or we need to import plantain. And this man who owns a store, and he wasn't doing it because of me. I went there and I saw some plantain that I wanted, and I said, how are you selling a plantain? This is not the person who it treats. I said, excuse me, how do you sell your plantains? He said, sir, 10 plantain for $1. I jumped. He said 10 plantain for $1. 10 plantain for $1. $1 is about 220 Ghana dollars, right? 10 plantains for 220 Ghana dollars. So when I heard the price for plantain on Sunday, and I remember this is just a few days, right? I bought the plantain, and I must still have some. I as well import plantain and sell it here because 10 plantain for 100 for $1. That's 10 plantain for $220. I can import plantain and sell it here cheaper than we can grow it here and sell it. It's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to be. So something is wrong. We need to find out the reason why. And people say, oh, supply and demand, nonsense. Nonsense. The same approach you have to take to grow the plantain when it's in supply amount, large amount, it's the same thing you have to do to grow it when it's in demand. Somebody needs to start regulating prices because the farmers are killing the people. They're killing the people. Average people can't afford to buy goods. That is the reason why you walk around and you see people goods rotting on the stalls. They're rotting on the stalls because they're selling it too dear, too expensive. You can import food cheaper, pay your taxes, pay your VAT, pay your shipping, and you can sell it cheaper than you can grow it here and sell it. What is that? Something wrong there. That picture doesn't look right. So maybe maybe the consumers bureau or or somebody, maybe the president or prime minister or the finance minister or some minister need to look at that. Look at the cost of things in the marketplace and see if the people, the average person who's receiving a small amount of money on a regular monthly basis can honestly afford to live a healthy life in Guyana. But yet still, the Venezuelans are pouring into Guyana. Even though we're in that state with our cost of goods, they are pouring into Guyana because the situation is worse there. They don't have food on the grocery shelves. The shelves are empty. As I saw pictures, the supermarket shelves are empty, and the people can't buy food. There's no food to buy. So they're coming here. I understand that the Venezuelans are working here, and they're working hard, and they're working harder than the Guyanese, and they're working, finishing jobs better than the Guyanese. What is wrong with us? Why are we allowing foreigners to come to our country and do the same thing that we can do better than we can do it for less than we can do it? Why is that? Eventually, we're going to start importing food. We're going to start importing dashin, edo, plantain, yams, cassava, and we'll be able to sell it cheaper than the farmers. And that is an industry that we don't need to kill. Farming. Agriculture is what makes countries develop. Agriculture, food. People must eat. So something needs to be done. I had to talk about this thing because it shocked me. $280 a pound for plantain. And how much plantain you getting for 280? Two plantain. Two plantain for 280. That means it's $140 a pound for plantain. $70 US, pretty much for one plantain. 70 cents, not dollars. 70 US cents, pretty much for one plantain. When I can get 10 plantain US, $1. What is wrong with that picture? Something is definitely wrong there. I don't know what kind of Christmas Guyanese are going to have. It's coming down the pike. Christmas is only a few days away. Yes, just over 2 weeks. And I know that times have been tough here. And then we're facing the threat with Venezuela, which, we don't need to be afraid, but we need to be conscious, we need to be alert, we need to be prepared, and we need to come together. This is not a time where we should be separated. I don't care which side of the coin you're on, politically or otherwise, religiously or otherwise. This is a time when you need to buckle down, come together as one nation, and deal with this crisis that Venezuela wants us to go under. And according to him, according to Matt Dula, He seems determined to persist. But I don't think I think he underestimates Guyanese. We may not have the ammunition and the aircrafts and the seagoing vessels that military have, but they can really get to Guyana in one or two ways. And between Guyana and Venezuela is a lot of jungle. And to get to Venezuela, to get to Guyana, Venezuelans have to come through the river or come through the jungle. Try it. I don't think Brazil is going to allow you to come through their territory because you got too many friends in Brazil. But to get here, you got to come through some serious turf. And you should try it. And you're going to find out what Guyanese have to offer when you get them mad. You could listen. I don't care if Venezuelans listening. You could tell Maduro that if he wants to try, he can go ahead. But many, many lives are going to be lost if he continues to persist. I can promise you that it's not going to be as easy as you think. I'm saying that with confidence. I hate to talk about that, but I know it's on your mind. But I need you to be assured that Guyanese are not going to take it lightly. You don't come in here and get one karass, not a blade of grass, nothing. You need to negotiate. If you have a problem, the world has already told you, you're treading on grounds that are not yours. Stand off. You still want to persist. What are you persistent for? Greed? You can't even take care of what you have. This is like the monkey. This is like the monkey with, I always tell this story. The monkey loved bananas. Okay? And they had these monkeys that saw a banana tree, ripe bananas on it. And they had one mad monkey. They had a Madura. He believed he owned the banana tree. So he went over the banana tree and he blocked everybody else. He said, you don't come in and pick no banana. Hey. So he picked one banana and he eat it. And everybody watching, all the other monkey watching it, Everybody like making song or whatever, communicating each other, making song and they talk at each other. I know what to say. This man was he mad, this monkey ain't good. He got all the banana he alone want to eat them bananas. So he had one banana, he had two bananas, and he belly full now. Can't eat them all. So here we do. You take one banana and put it somewhere on the hand. You take another one under the other hand. Then he realized he's taking another banana tree. He take another one and hold it in one hand. And then he grab another one and try to put it in another hand. And guess what he falling and bust his backside. Because he got no hand for grip between them all. You see, when you're greedy, you suffer the consequences. All the other monkeys laugh at you. Looking at you in the back, he can't get up. He can't get up because he hurt his back. Can't get up. Full banana pony. One on each side of him. And he looking up and the banana is still on the tree, but all the other monkeys are taking one of the bananas and eating. And he can't get up. When you're greedy, you suffer some consequences that you can't live with. You must be dead on your back. You see? Don't be greedy. What is not yours, leave it alone. It's not yours. If you want some of it, you talk, you negotiate. Say, look, man, I'm hungry. We're having some tough times right now. Can you help me with a couple of bananas? This, that, the other. And guess what? Them Guyanese people are kind. They can give you 2 bananas. So go and feed your family. And everybody gonna be happy. Because you can always come back and beg for a little more until you catch yourself. But when you want to be greedy and you want to possess what's not yours, it's come with consequences. And that, what he's trying to do, will come with consequences. I'm telling you, plenty consequences. So he better think hard, and the Venezuelan people better make some serious decisions about what they want and what they don't need to have. Not a blade of grass. It's not your one. Not your one. Share it if you want, but you negotiate and maybe something will happen. Anyway, I know it's on your mind, but I have to talk about it, get it out of my mind. It's the Christmas season, and I have the recipes that I normally give out in front of me. I don't know which one you want first, but I know the one that everybody wants is the pepper pot, right? Everybody wants a pepper pot recipe. So get your pens and your paper. Miss Adams, get your pen and paper. Don't call me for this recipe. You know, I don't give it to you. When I give it to you now, you got to get it now and write it down and use it. I ain't giving it to you no other time. Never mind how you beg. If you want this recipe after today, you gotta come with Dale or Dominique. Then you can get it. If you come smiling like this beautiful smile you have, me and you. Anyhow, this is the pepper pot recipe. And get your pens and write it down. Okay? There's some ingredients that you have to have that are not very complicated. This is the veggie version of the pepper pot. And this is the one that we make. Okay? Some people make pepper pot with all kind of things. They put um, red nut inside, they put all sorts of things. But this is the one that's made with vegetarian food, right? Here we go. You want to get half of a pound of chunks. And I would suggest you get the chicken chunks, half a pound of the chicken chunks, which is the white one. You want one tin or can of the veggie steak. And if you can't get the veggie steak or the one tin of chocolates, if you can't get the veggie steak and the chocolates, you could buy the chicken chunks and you could buy the beef chunks. Half a pound of the chicken chunks and half a pound of the beef chunks, or 1 pound of the beef chunks. And you don't have to use anything else for the meat, right? You could use that. You get some calf's rib, right? The calf's rib you will get probably about a pint of calf's rib, but you're not going to use all of that. Pint of calf's rib. You get 1 ounce of spice, which is cinnamon. Okay, I would normally suggest the cinnamon bark. 1 ounce of the cinnamon bark and half of an ounce of the clove. Okay, 1 ounce of spice, the bark, half an ounce of clove. You want to get an orange and you want to peel it because you want to use the orange peel. It gives it a nice flavor. You also want to get 1 ounce of the star aniseed. Okay, aniseed, it looks like a star and it's available in grocery stores now, particularly at Matais. I know it's there. 1 ounce of aniseed. You want to get some salt. You put the salt to one side, okay, because you can put a little bit of that. You want to get some pepper. If you want to get riri pepper or you want to get red hot pepper, you will use pepper to taste, okay? Don't make it too hot, but you're going to use pepper to taste. You're going to put the pepper one side. And then you're going to also get 6 leaves of the broadleaf thyme, because that makes it real nice. 6 leaves of the broadleaf thyme and 1/4 ounce of the fine leaf thyme. 1/4 ounce, right? Maybe half ounce. Half an ounce of the fine leaf. That's a lot of thyme, right? You want to get some oil, and I would suggest maybe some sunflower oil. Maybe about, let's say 1/4 cup of sunflower oil, 1/4 cup. And you want to get some sea moss, some Irish moss or sea moss. This sea moss must be boiled already and gelled, right? We normally have some here. You can get some here. The gel sea moss normally gives it a nice texture, okay? And 2 pints of water. Now you put these ingredients aside, and then you get your pot. You don't have to. This is not the one that you have to pressure the beef on the cow face. No, you don't have to do that. There's no pressure. You could make this in a regular pot, okay? So what do? You put on the pot and you turn on the heat, maybe I don't know, maybe medium heat. Put the water inside, and you're gonna either soak the chunks before you put it in the pot, or you can warm some water one side and put the chunks inside because it will swell. It will give it the kind of size that you need for the meat, right? And it will also increase the texture, make the texture the way you want it so it's chewy. So you want to heat some water and put the chunks in there, both of the chunks, the chicken and the beef chunks, put it in there, and you allow it to sit while you do the other things, like put the 1 pint of water on the fire. You want to add your cashew inside. You want to put in your dry ingredients first, and then your wet ingredients. Put in your aniseed, your orange peel. Okay, you put your spice inside. You put everything in there, and then you add the thyme inside. Okay. Now, when that meat is already tendered and swollen, and the texture is right, you take it and you put it in that pot with everything else inside. Okay, you put it in the pot and you allow it to simmer, like cook so that the ingredients will get into the meat. This will take like about maybe 20 minutes of cooking, 25 minutes of cooking. And you may add water back as you need to because you want the texture to be right, you want the taste to be right. Now, what you want to do is add your salt, a little bit of salt, maybe a pinch of salt, or a couple of pinches of salt. I said pinch, you pinch and you put the salt. And you want to add your pepper inside, and you want to stir it like, see, let it simmer. Let it simmer on a medium heat, and let it simmer until it gets to the point where you realize that the ingredients are now into the meat. Okay, you can add more water if you need to as it boils down. You can add more water back to bring it to the level of water that you need, and you can put as much water as you want, because most of the times when you make pepper pot, you need the juice, as we say, to soak the bread in, or the cassava biscuit, or whatever it is, cassava bread. You want to use the juice to soak it in, but I would say maybe a pint and a half of water is good enough, right? 1.5 pints, or maybe 2 pints, and then you would let it boil down to a pint and a half. But what you want to do is add your sea moss in there. Okay, you probably will get maybe a half a cup of sea moss, or 1 cup. You can put a cup of sea moss in there that's already gelled, and you stir it in. You stir it in the pepper pot because it will make the pepper pot nice and thick. You stir it in there, and then you add your oil inside. Add your oil, and you allow everything to simmer down, simmer down, simmer down. Now, there's some people who would put a little sugar inside, but I wouldn't put any because the cashew already has. Right? You can add more cashew if you need to, and you can add more of the spices if you need to. If it doesn't taste the way you like it, you could add a little more of the spice, but don't put too much because you don't want anything to overpower the pepper pot itself. When you eat your pepper pot, the taste must be balanced. Okay? When you soak the bread in there and you eat it, you must really taste all of the spices in a balanced way. I would normally add my thyme last. Okay, the broadleaf thyme. I would put the fine leaf thyme in and let it cook in there with the meat, and then I would add the broadleaf thyme last. That way, the thyme actually gives you that flavor, that spicy flavor that you need, that seasoned flavor for Christmas, right? I would add that last, and then I would cover the pot and allow the thyme to really soak into the juice, and the juice absorb the thyme, right? Because that is what makes the pepper pot, the thyme, right? The thyme and the cashew. Okay, you want to get good cashew because some people make cashew with burnt sugar and it's not really cashew, right? You want to try to get some good quality cashew because that is what makes the pepper pot really pepper pot, between the thyme and the cashew. So you can experiment with that. I know if you eat mine, you're gonna want to live by my house, so you're gonna taste mine. Some people get to taste mine because they're nearby and so on, but I don't know if I ever took any to Miss Adams. I don't know if she ever got any, but I think she's had some of what I make a time, some time ago, right? But Miss Adams can try it, and I know she'll come out good because she likes to cook vegetarian food too. Okay, so there you go. If you're using the steak and the choplet along with the chunks, then you would add the steak and the choplet just like you would add the chunks and allow it to cook and simmer and so on, right? The steak and the veggie steak and the veggie choplets gives you sort of a larger type of meat. So it looks like more like what you used to have in the past. But even that you can cut smaller and add it and so on, right? But that's the pepper pot formula. You can experiment with it and hopefully it'll come out the way you want it. And I promise that we'll have a pepper pot competition at some point, some year. But it certainly wouldn't be this year because, I have some other plans and I don't want to interfere with that at the moment, right? So that's your pepper pot recipe. The only one I want to give you is the garlic chunks. You know, we use some as in Guyana we use garlic pork, right? But as vegetarians we use the chunks as garlic, and I would use the chicken chunks mostly, and a little bit of the beef, a little bit of the beef chunks. So you would use half of a pound of the veggie chicken and beef, half a pound, right? Half a pound of veggie chicken, half a pound of veggie beef, half of a pound of garlic. And this is a good time to do your garlic chunks because you have enough time. Half a pound of garlic. Some people who like to taste more garlic can use like 3/4 of a pound, and you would, dice it up nice. What I normally would do is blend it. I would blend the garlic in some vinegar. I blend it, and I would, you know, add my vinegar in there, and vinegar that you want to add must be equivalent to let us say maybe 1 cup, 1 cup of vinegar to uh, 1 pound of the combined chicken and beef chunks, right? So that you can get that nice sourish taste with the garlic when you finish cooking it. Okay, but what you're gonna do, you're gonna soak it down in a bucket or so and cover it. Right, you're gonna add your vinegar and your water and your garlic. You're gonna blend it with the vinegar and water and just pour it in the bucket with the chunks and cover it up. Leave it in there. You want to make sure that the liquid covers the chunks. So if you have to add more liquid, you would balance it between the garlic and between the vinegar and water to make sure that you cover the chunks, right? Because it will swell. Now I would let that sit for maybe 14 days, so you have enough time. But I would keep turning it maybe every 3 or 4 days. I would just turn it in the bucket, just open it and turn it. And when it cures, you will almost be able to eat it just like that. Seriously, I'm telling you, right? But you put it in there to cure for about 14 days, and then what I do, I would squeeze it out of the bucket, right? I would squeeze it out as I take it out, and I would use um, some oil, maybe it's the same sunflower oil, and I would cut up some pepper. A nice pepper to put with that is the Wiri pepper, right? I would cut up some pepper to my taste, and I would the um, stir fry the chunks with some thyme, okay, fresh thyme, fresh fine leaf thyme, okay. I get some fine leaf thyme, and this is a good season. This is the season for thyme, and I would fry it up with the fine leaf thyme and the pepper in the oil, and I would just keep turning it and turning it and turning it until it gets to the texture where you can enjoy it just like that because you're cooking it like that. Okay, what you're doing is that you're actually cooking into the chunks or you're baking it into the chunks the ingredients to make this condiment, this dish. It's a complimentary dish, so that when you finish frying it, it's dry. When I say dry, I mean not dry dry, but it's dry down nicely, and you keep stir frying it until everything cooks in, and then you just cover it and leave it. And when it's cool, you put it in a bowl. And I would normally have that for months in the refrigerator, and I would use a toothpick and just take out what I need and eat it on a daily basis or whatever. But it tastes really nice. You cook it the right way, you wouldn't regret it. And you can use that to make your other dishes when you're making like veggie chow mein or veggie pasta, something. You can use some of that to put inside of your chow mein and cook it in there, and it's going to be tasty. You know, this is something that you can do and keep it. And you can use it when you're cooking your fried rice or your chow mein or, you know, whatever, because it makes it taste really good. Right? So that is the veggie garlic chunks formula. And then we have the black cake. Now, I think I'm going to do that and get out of the way because we don't know what will happen next week. Right? So here's the black cake recipe. 1 pound of butter. 1 pound of butter. 3/4 pound of sugar. If you don't like sweet, you could use 1/2 pound of sugar. Okay? 1 pound of butter, 3/4 pound of sugar, 1.5 pounds of whole wheat flour, or you can use white flour, 1.5 pounds of flour, 3 pounds of fruit that is soaked and cured, right? 3 pounds of fruit, 1 pound of soy milk powder, 1 pound of soy milk powder. If you don't use soy milk, then you have to use either coconut milk or almond milk. It might change the texture and flavor, but you can use those. 1 ounce of cinnamon, 1 ounce of cinnamon, 1/2 pound of mixed peel, 1/2 pound of mixed peel, 3 tablespoons of essence. I don't put a lot of essence. 3 tablespoons of essence. 1 ounce of baking powder. You don't want your cake, the fruit cake, to raise. The black cake don't need to raise like, you know, like a pound cake. Making black cake. 1/2 tablespoon of clove powder. Right? You either grind the clove or you buy the clove powder. 1/2 tablespoon of clove powder. 5. Let me see. No. This is not right. You need to have two teaspoons of allspice. 2 teaspoons of allspice. Okay? Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to cream your butter, just like you cream regular cake butter, with your sugar. Right? You get either your wood spoon that you use or your blender, and you cream the butter with the sugar until it becomes dissolved, until the sugar dissolves inside. And what I do normally is I would add all of my dry ingredients before I add my wet ingredients. For instance, I would add my flour slowly. Slowly I'd add the flour and keep beating it in. And then I would add my soy milk powder, and you just blend it in, keep blending it in. I'd add my cinnamon, you blend it in. I'd add my baking powder, and you blend it in. Then you add your clove powder, you keep blending it in. Spice, blend it in. And then I would add my fruits, my mixed peel, and my essence. Remember, we didn't say anything about eggs. There are no eggs in this cake. Okay? You would mix all of your dry ingredients, then you mix your liquid ingredients until the mixture is combined together and the preparation is completed. You know, we do the old-fashioned way. We take the spoon and we stick it in the middle, and if it doesn't fall, you know the mixture is good. You could try the same thing, right? Now, you want to put it in your pans, your baking pan, but I would normally suggest that you put some some greaseproof paper at the bottom of the pan. You oil it, then you put the paper, and then you put the mix in the pan. Don't put too much mix in the pan because it's gonna raise a little bit. But you want to put enough. Maybe I would fill the pan about 3/4, right? You may get 2 pans of cake here, and you bake at 225 degrees for 25 minutes, or 325 degrees for 20 minutes. But again, to know if your cake is finished, you will get like a toothpick or a knife, and you stick it in the middle of the cake. And when you take it out, it shouldn't be anything wet on it. If it's wet, you bake it a little more. Okay, it would have a little bit of texture on it, but because it's not going to be dry, but you don't want to see liquid or wet stuff coming out. If you see the wet on it, it means it needs to bake a little more. You keep baking it until the knife comes out without the wet stuff on it. And guess what? With those 3 recipes, if you do them the right way, you're going to have an awesome Christmas with your veggie cake, your veggie pepper pot, and your veggie garlic chunks. You know what I'm telling you because I do it myself. Okay? We enjoy our Christmas cake and our pepper pot and our garlic chunks, just like if you're eating the regular ones. Without a beat. Don't miss anything. And you're going to be eating healthy because the foods that you prepare there are wholesome, healthy, and nutritious. Know what I'm telling you. So there you have it. I hope Miss Adams wrote everything down. If you didn't write it down, you have the recording, you could play it back. But don't call me because me and Gail. Sorry. Didn't get it from me no more. And please don't call me and ask me for the recipe because you should have been listening. Okay? Or call your friend who was listening. Right? If you miss it, maybe we play it back so you can hear it and get it the next time. Okay? But remember, this program is dated for today. It's dated for the 7th. Okay? So if you see the 14th, then it's a replay, and you will just have to ignore some of the things that were said, but most of it is pertinent. Right? Once again, I think the news will tell us about the incident that occurred. We lost the lives of some soldiers. It's been a long time since that happened to us. And I want to express on behalf of our clinic and our family, we want to express the condolences to all of the family members who would have lost their loved ones. And there's some good people who were on that plane. I saw pictures. I know they were good people, and they went down serving their country. And I'm proud of them. I'm not proud of what happened, but we don't need that kind of thing to happen again. And if it's at all possible, we need to find the reason for the aircraft going down and try to avoid that from happening. I don't know if, based on my experience, if maybe with the refueling, if there was excess weight, or if if something happened that created some sort of a catastrophic situation with the plane. We don't know, but whatever it is, it's already done, and we will mourn the loss, but we have to continue to move on. Okay, it's sad, and I know many families are in tears right now, and it would have struck and hurt the members of our armed forces and our commander-in-chief, and he sincerely regrets it too. But as an ex-military man, you have to toughen up, deal with the consequences, and move on. We can't change what happened, but we can try to prevent it from happening again. So you have my condolences, and I hope that we get to the bottom of it and try to fix it so that it won't happen again. right? As we do at our clinic, we try to get to the bottom of diseases, and we do our best to try to help to avoid persons from having it again. But you got to follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, there's nothing we can do. You know, we're here to help. We're sincerely here to help people. We sometimes regret the fact that people have to get medicines to help themselves, and it costs because we have to import it, we have to buy it, we have to ship it, we have to pay duty on it, everything. It costs us to get it here, and we don't get free passes. You know, everything we bring here, we have to pay for it. Okay, if we were subsidized or so, then we could pass it on to you. But even sometimes we would pass it on to you, even though we're not subsidized, because we want to help you. We are here to help. We're here to lend a hand in extending your life, and we're also here to try to find out why you're sick and to help you to overcome whatever it is that caused you to be sick. Okay? We've lost many persons this year, many persons. Some with cancer, some with all sorts of things. Some with cardiac arrest, some with you know um, death as a result of hypertension, of diabetes. You know, uh, there's so many areas that we would have lost lives of people this year in our country. We don't need to lose any more lives any other way. You know, if you're sick and you continue to allow yourself to be sick, then eventually the sickness may take your life. But when there's a sudden death, it hurts more. Sudden deaths normally hurt more. You know, so it's sad. It's a sad day in Guyana, and you know we all are saddened by the incident, and we have to remember that there's work to be done. There's a country to protect. There's a region to protect, and all of our hands on deck to come together and put our brains together and you know prepare to deal with whatever it is that comes along, in whatever way we can. You know, the people who are negative about all sorts of things, we can't stop that, but we need to be positive at this time and do what it takes to give the madman an opportunity to realize that you don't push your luck. You push your luck, it might be you might luck might run out. You see, this is not going to be a fight with Guyana alone. I can tell you that. It's not going to be a Guyanese fight alone. But we all as Guyanese need to come together. I don't care what religion, I don't care what political affiliation, I don't care what profession. We all need to come together and be positive about what's happening. Prepare ourselves to not be scared, but to deal with it. Because what he wants to do is drive fear in Guyana. He wants to drive fear in the Guyanese people. He wants to drive fear in the people in the Essequibo region. He wants to drive fear in the people in the other regions that are close by. Don't allow him to do it. He right now is like it's like the monkey that I talked about that fell and broke his back, greedy for the bananas. And he's also like a fish out of water. You know, he's looking to grab and fight his way back into whatever it is. In my opinion, I think he's trying to use political strategies to distract the people from the real issues. Um, he has to realize too that the people are not stupid. The people are not stupid. They're learning every day that maybe he's really indeed a madman. You know, so those people have to live. They have to eat. They have family members too, and they don't want to lose their lives of their loved ones. They're not going to risk themselves because of his stupidity and ignorance. So, my friends, all I want to say to you is come together, uh, pray for the relatives that have suffered the losses of their loved ones. That's as much as we can do now. Give them support in whatever way we can, and let us come together and support each other in dealing with the masses of the masses of greed that exists in the minds of those who are greedy. Okay? Let us not be greedy. Let us all share and come together and pick each other up and try to hold hands and put our heads together and come up with solutions to crises that we face. That's what I want to say. Let us come together with answers and solutions for the crises that we're going to face in all areas. Not only that, in all areas. And I would like to say to the persons who are responsible for providing the salaries for others, take a look at the marketplace, take a look at the supermarket, and see if you can afford to live on the money that you pay those people. Take a look and see. And if it's possible, increase their salaries, not just a one-time thing, because they have to live month to month, week to week, day to day. Give them a little more so that they can go to the marketplace and to the grocery stores and supermarkets and afford something that they need to eat and drink to give them good health and strength. This is important. Okay? All right. Time is up. I hope that you listened and you enjoyed and we didn't strike any one of you negatively because that's not the intention. We thank you for listening and for following the guidelines. And so, if you have a list, if you visited and you have a list of things that you need to avoid it because your body is saying to you that you don't need to eat or drink those things. They're provoking your condition more. Follow it. Don't complain. Comply. Okay? I know the phone is ringing and the time is up. We can't take any calls. Maybe next time. We have an email address and we have a website. You can go to the website and you can post your questions and your concern. Okay? I think the website is on the screen. The phone number is on the screen. If you need to make contact with us, you can call us at 231-6477 or healthandwellnesscentergy.com. Okay? healthandwellnesscentergy.com. All right? Dr. Haynes saying good night. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. So long.
Looking for a place for the whole family? Come down to the Toucan Mall in Amelia's Ward, Linden. It's the mall that has it all. We have great food, a relaxing atmosphere, and activities for all ages. Tennis, swimming, and a playground. But the fun doesn't stop after dark. There's even a bar and an arcade. And if